Hi class, this is Dr. Halstead. Hope you're doing well. I've really appreciated the work you're turning in. The family court summaries were very good. I especially appreciate those of you who tried and those of you who made it to a court in your community. I do understand that some of you just couldn't, and that's okay. But the familiarity with the court system is really important. Want to say something about the coming week's assignment. We're getting into something very important, but can sometimes be a bear, and that's HIPAA compliance. And so that's basically about how secure are we in the privacy of our clients' records and in how we're communicating with them. So we'll get into technology, and there's some important resources you'll want to know. We are becoming more and more culture of technology, and so you will find yourself presented with the opportunity to do therapy and supervision. Well, you're already doing supervision online, but to do therapy online, and for some of the same reasons that you have chosen to do an online program, clients are going to choose to do online therapy. So it's something that's growing, and we're having to deal with it at the national and legislative levels. So I'll be interested to hear what you think of the readings and hear your comments. I want to give you a little grace on one of the things. Dr. Salkil had made an announcement that now you respond to all the posts of your classmates, not just one a week. And so I know some of you didn't get that message, so I'm going to go ahead and let you go back and change those posts and respond to your classmates, and then I'll give you credit for that. But starting this week, you need to go ahead and do that and respond to each post. So just wanted to allow you to go back to the other 3 weeks and change that if you want. If you're fine with your grade, that's fine too. Wanted to share just a quick personal experience in ethics, and this is how important some of this stuff is. Some of you, we talked a little bit about your emotional reaction last week to some of the abuse and different things, and this course is about raising your awareness. It's not going to be something you deal with at a grand scale every day in your practice, but it will determine how you need to set up your practice and what you need to do for the well-being of your clients and for yourself. But I did have one man I had to supervise, and I say had to because it was required. He's a psychologist, and he and a probation officer were running a group for sexual offenders, and one of the participants told them in one of the groups that not only had he abused his 14-year-old stepdaughter, but he had also fondled his 4-year-old stepdaughter. And so after the group, the two of them talked, the psychologist and the probation officer, and the probation officer said he would report it. Well, 2 weeks later, there was a random, lie detector test. And this same participant confessed this to the technician who was taking the test. And the technician reported it, and it was found that no one else had reported it. So, and by then the probation officer, he had quit helping with the group and he was gone. And so the psychologist was questioned on, why didn't you report this? And he said, well, I thought my partner did, but he got in serious trouble for that. So he was on probation for a year. He had to take an ethics course, and that's where we met because he took my ethics course, and then he had to be in supervision for a year dealing with ethical issues. And so that was with me, and I had to write quarterly reports to the board about whether he was taking it seriously. But he risked losing not only his psychology license, he was a psychologist, but also his MFT license. And so that would have affected his whole livelihood. So some of this stuff just can come back to bite you. So you do need to take it seriously. But if you're doing everything you're supposed to do, you're gonna stay out of trouble. And there are times that you do everything you can and you get in trouble anyway, but that's why you have attorneys, that's why you have malpractice insurance. But we really don't face it as much as, you're just getting bombarded with it right now. So I actually was turned in once when some students, it was before I had my PhD, and some students wrote PhD candidate on the letter by my name. And I didn't realize it, and it went out, it was to pastors. And when it came back, or not when it came back, somebody turned me into the licensing board that I was misrepresenting myself as having a PhD when I didn't. And they have to investigate everything, so they followed that up. And the investigator was actually a bit embarrassed to be talking to me about it because he said, this is not a big deal, but we have to investigate everything. And so, it was something I didn't even realize the students had done. So you have to be careful, but it's these laws and ethical codes are really for the protection of both the client and for you. So, all that to say, you're doing good. Hang in there. This is a lot, and I appreciate the work you're doing. So, I look forward to seeing your thoughts this week on the technology issues.